Jimmy Butler scored a playoff career-high 45 last night as the Heat took a 2-0 series lead against the Hawks. Final score 115-105. Butler went on a personal 7-0 run down the stretch in the fourth to seal the deal. Afterwards, Butler said he's a different player now than he was during the franchise's run to the NBA Finals in the bubble 2 years ago. Shannon, what do you think? Players and coaches in that locker room, they were raving about Butler after the game. Do you think he's gone from star to superstar?
I don't consider Jimmy Butler a superstar, Skip. I'm sorry, I just don't. I know what he did when he did that bubble, Skip. Game 3, he was 40, 11, and 13. Game 5, he was 35, 12, and 11. And then in Game 6, he had 12 points.
Yep.
Far too many times. In 3 years, and since he's joined the Heat, he's 21, 6, and 6 over those 3 seasons. He's shooting 24% from the three-point line. Skip, when I think of superstar, names LeBron, KD, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, I think of superstar. I don't think of Jimmy Butler as a superstar. I'm sorry. I think he's a very talented player. I think he's an all-star. I think he's a star. But, Skip, when you go to that crescendo, when you go to that shelf up here, Jimmy Butler's not on that shelf with KD. Mm-hmm. He's not on that shelf with LeBron and those other guys that I mentioned. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. Mm-hmm. Plus, I don't see the consistency enough. I know he can have games like he had last night, but they come few and far between, even in the regular season. So, like I said, all-star, star, superstar, I don't see that, Skip. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not even in the postseason.
No.
I believe on any given moment and occasion, he can rise to superstar status in the postseason. I've never seen anything quite like it. I got you on the 12 points, but it's not that easy to go a 40 and a 30 or last night a 45 and just take a game completely over the way he can take it over at a superstar level when it matters the most. So
you do remember that. Now, he was in Chicago. He was in Minnesota. He was in Philly. Mm-hmm. So, I mean... Gotcha.
The issue with Jimmy Butler is he's just difficult to live with.
Oh, he burns bright, but he doesn't burn long.
No, he doesn't burn long, and he's going to burn out the coach. He's going to burn out the locker room. He's going to burn out the owner. Mm-hmm. And he almost burned out Spo about, 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah. And it was, I told you, it's a north-south moment for that team because Spo's looking at him in the huddle like, wait, you want to fight me? Yeah. Like, really? You want to fight me?
And then, UD, right? They go to UD, the OG.
Yeah, the OG said, well, if you want to fight him, why don't you fight me first? And Jimmy apparently wanted no part of UD, right?
He don't want no Mr. 305.
And then after a while, Spo, after he thought about it, then he's like, wait a second. Did you just say that to me? And he goes right back in his face and has to be restrained. I've never seen Coach Spo do that, right?
Nah, you'll normally see coaches, Skip, they normally let it go.
Okay, flashpoint moment, north-south moment. Well, what do you always tell me? Production or tolerance? What is it?
So, when production is high, so is tolerance.
Okay? So his production, he updates his production just enough with a 45 last night to maintain barely enough tolerance, right? Mm-hmm. So I was told, just a quick aside here, he's got some personal issue that I do not know exactly what it is with Victor Oladipo. I'm a big fan of Victor's, and one reason I picked Miami to win the whole thing this year was, do you remember what happened in the last game of the regular season at Orlando? Yeah, Victor Oladipo scored 40 points himself.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, if you can bring him off the bench with Tyler Hero, do you not have some explosive bench numbers,
absolutely,
right?
Yes.
Manu Ginobili-esque coming off the bench.
Yeah, you got Duncan Robinson, who was 8 and 9 from the three-pointer.
That is correct. So you got some shock troops that can just heat you up for the Heat if you can use Victor Oladipo.
Right.
Have you noticed what's happening or not happening with Victor Oladipo?
I think he's been DNP coach decision the first 2 games.
Both games, he has not seen the light of play. Why is that? Well, I was told it's because Jimmy just flat out told Spo, I don't want to share the floor with him. I don't even know what the issue is, but there's definitely some personal issue going on between those two.
Right.
Well, this is vintage Jimmy Butler. He can turn into Jimmy Buckets.
Yes.
He can be a driving force for that team, and yet you see what he shot from 3 during the regular season. He shot 23.3% from 3. Well, that's obviously not superstar numbers.
He's 24% over the 3 years. Skip, 21-6-6 is not superstar, Skip. I'm sorry.
And yet last night, would you believe he made 4 out of 7?
Yes.
And could I show you quickly the 3 straight shots that he made, including a huge 3 that closed the deal because Atlanta, thanks to Bogdanovich, had cut it all the way to 3. And then here's Jimmy Buckets. He scores 10 straight points. He just blew right by.
Come on,
okay,
Trey.
Come on, Trey. Trey never accused of playing any defense.
Is this the 3?
This is huge. That's the shot of the shot of the night right there, because that was like.
Well, Skip, if he hit that shot, you just give it. You're like, okay, it's not our night tonight.
And here he goes again, a little Euro left-handed. He's crafty. He's clever. He's skilled.
Yes.
And he has a mental toughness about him. In the bubble against your team, again, if he hadn't lost Dragic, who was their leading scorer up to that point, and he didn't lose Bam in game 1, I believe Jimmy would have been enough of a driving force to get them home against you guys in the bubble.
Happen.
Well,
you know, go with let that happen.
Well, go.
28, 11, and 9. Can I interest you in that?
No drama.
I mean, excuse me, 29. I mean, the man averaged almost 30. He's only 2 points away from leading everybody in every statistical category throughout the playoffs. He was 2 points behind Anthony Davis. Yeah, and if Anthony Davis hadn't made the shot of shots in the bubble, a 3 to save the game 2 against Denver when the play was called for LeBron, and Rondo said, I looked him in the eye and he froze. That's what he said. And guess what happened? Because Plumlee wouldn't leave, that gave AD a chance. And what happened? Grant was also like, nah, they're going to throw this ball to AD. They're going to throw this ball to James. We don't want him to beat us. So, AD, you go ahead and shoot that shot. And AD shot through the heart.
How can a GOAT be afraid to shoot free throws?
GOAT ain't afraid of nothing. And then what did he do game 5? He told like Chris Haynes, I'm ending this bleep tonight.
Yeah. Well, I think Jimmy Buckets is not afraid of the late game free throw line. I think he's big time clutch.
Oh,
right? Yeah. You can give him the ball and get out of the way because late in the game he just said, I got this.
He's one of 5 guys that's ever had a 45-point, 0 turnover game in a playoff game.
Yep.
Would you consider him a superstar?
And I said in the postseason, he has superstar stretches where, I qualify him as a superstar.
Kevin Durant is not a superstar stretch player. Luka is not a superstar stretch player. Either you are this or you're not that.
Well, I obviously picked them and him to win it all this year.
But, Skip, there have been teams that's won championships without superstars. Okay. There's few and far between.
But I am banking on him to make a bunch of big shots down the stretch. And I'm banking on him because he says he's a different player than he was in the bubble.
Chris Middleton's a superstar because how many big shots did he make down the stretch in the playoffs last year? But nobody considers Chris Middleton a superstar.
Okay, he is the closer for that team, but Jimmy Butler is much taller and can score more ways than Chris Middleton can.
You think I don't think he's taller than Middleton. Middleton's like 6'8".
Chris Middleton?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that tall.
Yeah, he's taller than Jimmy Bucket. I think Jimmy only 6'7".
6'8"? I don't think he's 6'8". I might give him 6'5" or 6".
He taller than that, yeah.
Chris Middleton?
Yeah.
Well, he's a guard.
That's what he lists him at. Big guard.
I'm
giving folks the business,
Maybe you're right. I don't know. But the point is that Jimmy Butler is difficult, but he is the driving force of this team. And now he's saying that we have a point guard, so I don't have to be as ball dominant. And Kyle Lowry is not what he was in Toronto.
He struggled this year.
But I still love his presence. I love his defensive presence. I love the bulldog.
And he can have a stretch where he lights you up and he goes 7 of 11 or 7 of 12 from the three-point line, ends up with 27 points and 10 assists. He has that. But, like I said, he's a defensive guy. He plays really tough defense, going to draw a lot of charges. He's doing a great job when he's matched up against Trae Young. But like I said, I like Jimmy. I think he's an all-star. I think he's a star, but super. That's only reserved for a handful of guys, Skip. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we'll see. I think he's going to achieve superstar status, even in your mind, in the next month or 2.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'll be right here. I ain't going nowhere.
Well, my dude will be right over here.
25 shots for Jimmy